What's up guys, WhoNeedsMeta here. Today we're going to be looking at the ruling timeline for Minecrush. Essentially, depending on what format you're playing in, you're allowed to gain different amounts of information from your opponent's hand in terms of verifying the resolution of Minecrush and how that works. So we're going to be going over the timeline of that and when you get to look at their hand, when you don't get to look at their hand, and things like that. So the first ruling we're going to look at is from GOAT format. The card came out in the fall of 2004, so I believe that 2005 is a good place to start. Essentially here, Minecrush is ruled that if the opponent doesn't have the named card, you can check their hand to confirm. And that is the only instance you are allowed to check their hand to confirm. These rulings are pulled from the Upper Deck era of rulings, so essentially until 2009 is when Upper Deck would be giving the rulings. So these were pulled via the Wayback Machine. So we'll look at those here. So our first section here of the Wayback Machine is an Upper Deck ruling from a Troop Dupe format. You'll see in the top it is March of 2007. It says you cannot activate Minecrush if you have no hand. All of these, of course, are going to be the exact same. And if you notice, it is still the exact same. So in Troop Dupe format, which is the earliest that we can really look at this from way back, is the exact same as it was in GOAT format. And then the last available ruling date here, we have February 20th, 2009 is again the exact same text. And the reason that this period ends, you'll notice there are a few grabs from way later, but unfortunately those are just 404 dead links, because if we look here, February 26, 2009, Upper Deck is essentially out of control of the TCG, and we have Konami taking over. We'll see April 25th, 2009 is the first Konami event. So we've seen Konami take over the game, and we are no longer using Upper Deck rulings where Konami has reruled them. So we will need to look for a Konami reruling. Now, if we skip ahead to Edison format, this is again the ruling from Edison format's website. They're pulling from Konami and Upper Deck rulings at this time. It's kind of a messy time period for the game's history in terms of ruling because of that takeover. Sometimes those rulings are not official. Essentially, this is the exact same ruling. They added this addendum of one copy of a limited card is accounted for, i.e. if you call a card that's at 1 and it's already public knowledge, you're essentially doing this to force yourself to discard. It's like calling a card you know your opponent doesn't have. So if we skip ahead, we are now in Konami's ruling territory. And if we move, I was looking at a thread of Nobleman of Crossout verification, and we look here, it says Minecrush is different from Nobleman. It never allows you to get a peek if you succeed. But we see, though, there's a thread showing that the card had been reruled. So we know it has been reruled before September 25th, 2010. Unfortunately, so like the Prohibition thread that did the whole Prohibition rerulings and costs and things like that from 2008, that was released in a Pojo thread. Unfortunately, this one has been deleted. So what do? We have September 25th as a date where it has been reruled. Thankfully, in a very random WordPress article, someone quoted the Pojo here. They quoted the Pojo, says, "We have recently received a new ruling that says the following. If the maximum legally allowed number of copies of the declared card cannot be verified as public knowledge, you may ask your opponent to verify their hand." And it should be done quickly so you're not able to write down things. But essentially, we do have the date. And if we scroll up, we can find out it is from July 7th, 2010. So July 7th, 2010 is when you are allowed to start verifying your opponent's hand if all legal copies are not accounted for when declaring a card off of Minecrush. And while this is not applicable to this channel in any formats that we play, I do want to put this in as an addendum. April 11th, 2019, the tournament policy was updated that you're not allowed to check even if you whiff on Minecrush. So if you call a card and they say they don't have it, you essentially either have to have a judge verify that for you, which I don't even think you can do. Yeah, you may not ask a judge to verify your opponent's hand. So essentially this was kind of the death of Minecrush in being played in tournaments. I was able to pick up a CP copy for $30 because they just tanked after that. So the one you'll actually see in the thumbnail. But yeah, that is the ruling history of Minecrush. If there's any card that isn't Necro Valley that you would like to see me take care of. I'll do my best to accommodate that, but yeah, Necro Valley is a little bit over my head. That card has been changed so many times, but hope this was helpful for more retro format players, and thanks for watching, guys.